Hey everyone, Kara Gott Warner here, and I want to welcome you to another edition of Power Purls Unplugged. This is the live edition of Power Purls Podcast, and I jump on here every week to bring you the latest news about the podcast, and I talk about a variety of different topics as they pertain to the podcast and our yarn crafting life. So I am very excited to jump on here today because I'm going to be talking about the latest episode. So that's episode 81 of the podcast. And I am joined by my co-host, Tabitha Hedrick. And in today's episode, we talk about ways to tap into your purpose-driven mission and to use this like rocket fuel for creating a meaningful and sustainable fiber loving business and lifestyle. So, I always talk about those two sides of the spectrum, our business, our fiber business, and our yarn crafting and our creativity, because they're so intertwined, especially when we are creatives, right? So those are the things that I'm sort of always knitting together, if you will, of course, no pun intended, but that's such a weird saying because it kind of is, right? But so, hey, I am going to start saying hello to some of you guys popping in the room before I get started. Troy, hello. Nice to see you today. And yep, it's a little bit cold here. I don't know. What is it like there in New York, Troy? I'm sure it is chilly. Yeah, it's been warm. And then all of a sudden it's really chilly here. I was actually in New York ago or 2 weeks ago. It was not really New York State, but the state of New York. When you're from New York, you know the difference, right? So I was like about an hour away from the city, and I was like in the Port Jervis area, and it's so beautiful. But man, it was so cold, and it was I was there on April 30th. I think it was the 27th through the 1st, and it snowed. It snowed on April 30th. And I was like I wish it was in May 1st so I could say, it snowed on May 1st, But anyway, it was crazy. It was totally crazy. So it's 71. Yeah, so it's definitely not 71. It's like in the 50s here. So whatever, what are you going to do, right? So now it was cold in New York when it was warm here. Like it was like 80s here, and it snowed. And now it's warmer. But that's life. Anyway, yeah, I just went off on the weather tangent, but I always like to, break the ice before we get started, before I really get into the meat of the conversation, because it takes a while for some of you guys to see this pop up on your phone and your notifications and such. So I figure we'll just start having some fun, lighthearted conversation, and then I can say hello to you guys, and then ask you to also take a moment to share where you're viewing from, and also share with your friends, share with your Facebook friends. So Marie, hello. I haven't seen you in a while. How are you? And we're neighbors, kind of, sort of. Marie lives in, I think you live in Indiana. I'm not going to say where, because I know that's like, oh, don't tell people where I live necessarily. Some people don't want necessarily to have that news out there, but you are I live in Indiana, and you do as well. So I can at least say that, I think, because we've had those conversations before. So how are you loving your life in the Hoosier state, as they say? I still can't, like, Hoosier. Such a funny name. And there are a lot of stories surrounding Hoosier and where that comes from. I'll tell you a funny little story while we're waiting. Oh, right, Muncie. Right, you're in Muncie. I thought it was Indy, but you're in Muncie. So, Marie, yeah. But the story about the Hoosier thing is somebody said, "Who's your mother?" Like an Amish person, or said, like, with a weird accent, said, "Who's your mother?" or something. It's like, kind of sounds lame, but it was sort of like one of those weird things where someone said something that, they meant something else, and the word Hoosier came out of it. Who knows if that's really true? But anyway, I still call myself a Jersey girl, even though I live in Indiana. But my husband's like, "You're not a Jersey girl, and because you're from New York." I say, "Well, yeah, but I grew up in New Jersey. So, as they say, you can take the girl out of Jersey, but you can't take the Jersey out of the girl. Okay? I'm just saying. So, so great, Marie. I'm really glad you're liking it. I mean, Indiana is really flat, and there's a whole lot of farmland. That's the thing that I miss the rustic rolling hills of the Northeast. But hey, what are you gonna do? Muncie, there's a great arboretum, or like a botanical garden, I guess you would call it. It's called Minnetistra. Have you heard of it, Marie? I'm pretty sure it's in Muncie. And then you've got Ball State. I think Ball State University is there. And I was there a couple of weeks ago with my son for a class trip. We were at Ball State University for we were visiting the planetarium. Man, it's so cool. I love that stuff. I love, just talking about the universe and the planets and it's endless. And oh my goodness. And where does it start? Anyway. So Troy says, Joyzy. Yeah. The other one saying, you from Joyzy? I'm from Joyzy. Yeah. Anyway, because, it's Jersey humor for you. So Marie, you live 5 minutes from Ball State. That's good. That's great. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So I see that a bunch of you guys are rolling into the room. So I will get started. All right. So please, if you haven't already done so, please take a moment to share with your Facebook friends. I'm going to take a little sip of this is my afternoon delight. It's either green tea, like a green matcha, or coffee. And I'm actually having coffee. My husband usually says, why are you having coffee? It's so late. But I don't know. So I don't usually, but sometimes I'm in the mood because it's like Friday and we're going to have a Power Purls party, right? So, all right. So, so I want to start off by letting you guys know that this video edition of the podcast is brought to you by the Power Purls community on Patreon. So when you become a sponsor, you get early release episodes of the podcast. So I just released episode 81 last night, and I go live every couple of weeks in the patron only, I should say, Facebook group. And so I talk about behind the scenes. I shared my screen. I showed the blog, like kind of how I create the blog post and edit the episode and all this kind of stuff, even getting into my editor, which actually I meant to do that yesterday with some of my patrons, but I forgot to because I was showing them kind of my calendar and how one thing leads to the next and all these different ways of organizing. It's a lot. It's a crazy, lots of work. So if you decide to become a sponsor, and you can do this at any level, which is really cool, you get early releases, right? And you also get unedited episodes. There's a bunch of unedited episodes up there. And these are with designers, and some of the designers have actually, and myself, have given these little mini trainings, trainings on the audio trainings at the end of the episode. So I left those for patrons only. So anyway, so you can check that all out. Oh, and by the way, there's also a private Facebook group just for patrons. So if you would like, you can check that out by going to karagottwarner.com/community. All right. Oh, sure. And you know what? I left a little snack for you as well. Okay. That was London, my son. Sometimes he's part of the show because I'm like, you know what? It's real life, you guys. We're talking real life, right? So sometimes the little dude joins us. And a couple of times I taught him how to finger knit. I taught him how to arm knit. And we did some like kids crafts. And those are the best videos. Like they're the most popular videos. So like, oh my gosh, I think that says something, All right. So I always like to start with a burning question of the week. Hi, London. Hello. You want to say hello before we get? I'm going to get started with my video, so you can say hello. It's Friday. So Marie says, I love the shawl behind you. Yes, this is actually a piece that I designed for Annie's signature collection, and it's got fringe on it. It's very similar to all the kinds of shawls, a template that I use for all of my designs basically, except this one, it's got some lovely fringe. Can you move to the side just a touch, London?
No.
Okay. So you wanna kind of let people see the fringe on this? Yeah. So, and this is made with 3 strands held together, 3 strands of yarn held together, and it's all cotton and rayon or nylon or whatever. But I'm live, London, so you gotta be good. Gotta be a good boy. Why?
Because.
Okay, this is live. You know how many people are watching? A lot of people.
Wait, it's a little late.
Oh, it's a little late.
There, look.
What?
Look.
Oh, it's delayed. It's delayed. Yes, exactly.
Look.
It is. Yes, it's delayed. Okay. So, all right, London. So I'm going to get started. So why don't you go upstairs so I can talk with my fabulous Power Purls friends, okay? Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome, London. All right. So you guys ready for the burning question of the week? You guys ready for that? And this is a great way to break the ice. I feel like we already broke the ice, so this is cool. But it's a great way to break the ice and get this Power Purls party started. And so today my question is about working with plant-based yarns. You either love them or you hate them. So there's my question for you guys. Do you work with plant-based yarns or not? And if you like them, if you really like to work with them, what are your favorites? Share your favorites in the comments. And if not, why not? So I'd love to hear from you. And while you're thinking about that, it's easy to say yes or no, or maybe, or here's why I might work with them. Because I want to talk about plant-based yarn, plant-based knitting, and also earth-friendly yarns. Because many of these plant-based fibers, like cotton, bamboo, although there are some issues with bamboo on the earth-friendly side, believe it or not. But there are lots of different yarns out there that are sustainable. We love the word sustainable, and I'm going to show some off. Have some here. I'm going to show them in a little bit. We're going to kind of segue and switch some gears. So that is my question to you guys. So Marie says, love cotton, linen, and bamboo. That's awesome. So, oh, hey, Sue. You know what? Sometimes the comments, I'm like, I can't see who's on here. That's why I have my phone near me, but I think everything is kind of up to speed now. So Sue says, you know what they say in showbiz, children and animals will always upstage you. So true. Yeah, all I need now is a dog. Yeah, or a cat. Cats and yarn don't mix, although I know a lot of knitters love cats. I can tell you some crazy stories when it comes to cats and yarn. I had cats. I've always inherited cats in relationships, not in my current relationship, but like in the past, right, with boyfriends and such. And, they would basically tear into my yarn. And I have some crazy stories about that. So I won't go into that right now. So let's see. Yeah. All right. So I wanted to see if any of you. Okay. So Marie says never worked with corn. That's another fiber that I don't know. Is that still like happening? I mean, that's a whole other thing. I mean, I'm not going to get into it now, but corn, because it's so, it's become such a commodity in the factory farming world that I wonder how earth friendly it really is these days to work with corn yarn. That's just one little thought off the top of my head here. But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. See you guys that are watching, what you think of plant-based yarns. You love them, you hate them. If you love them, share your favorites, any brands that you want. Would love to share with others that are watching. And then if you don't, you don't like working with plant-based, and share why. I know that sometimes, it's not as smooth. It doesn't feel as nice as like working with a merino. So anyway, okay, so here goes. I'm going to switch gears. So while you guys are thinking about that question, because I always like to start breaking the ice that way, and I'm going to talk now about the episode. So here we go. So hot off the presses is Power Purls Podcast, episode 81. And if you haven't had a chance to listen yet, you can go to powerpurlspodcast.com/81, and I chat with my buddy and my co-host Tabitha Hedrick. So you guys may know her. She's been on the show before, and she's also the design director of Sweet Georgia Yarns. And on the episode, we share ways to get honest and real with your purpose. Because, when you connect with this most authentic place, it really can become like rocket fuel for genuine ideas that not only inspire you, but they also serve a greater goal outside of ourselves, And so, what could be better than that, seriously, because I think then you set yourself up to feel more fulfilled, create more meaning in your activities, whether they're, creative or business focused. So talking to a lot of fiber makers, creators, people that want to start that business. And, sometimes that word business can be like, oh, business, and maybe I don't want to start a business, but I just want to do something on the side and see if I can make a little bit of money, a little pocket change, a little coffee money. I mean, I remember there's a designer, an Etsy designer, I can't think of her name. She's knitting, and she calls her money, the money that she makes, coffee money. I think that's a really, like her Starbucks money. I think that's a good way to phrase it, because then it's like, oh, wow, all of a sudden, if you catch yourself making a living, wow, what a surprise. But if you think about it from the perspective of, I'm doing this because I love it, who knows where it's going to lead, so I'll just go with it. So, but like talking about this purpose-driven thing, so you see examples of this with yarn companies and designers, for example. So they may donate a portion of their yarn or their pattern sales to a charity that's really near and dear to their hearts. And for myself, I infused my passion for knitting, and I built an amazing career in needle arts. And this is like a career that spans more than 15 years as an executive editor of a top knitting magazine, business coach, helping designers and creatives create that business. And my passion for knitting has helped me to achieve these things because I let it be the driver. That's the bottom line. And so what did I do? I gave the universe instructions. And sometimes what happens is we actually give the wrong instructions. We give the universe the wrong instructions when we don't mean to. And so then what happens is it creates vague results. So, for example, here's something that I came up with for myself. This is a mission statement. So we're going to talk about mission statements in a second. And I mentioned that in my newsletter this morning, my update, my weekly update. Try to be better about the weekly newsletter updates. And I talked about creating your own mission statement. So I'm going to talk about that here. So here's for myself. This is something I actually wrote down in one of my notebooks, like over a year ago, before I started business, because this is something that I would really love to start talking about. So here goes. This is my mission statement. You guys ready? So, plant-based yarn crafting advocate, podcaster, smoothie maker, business coach to fiber-loving creatives who makes knitting sustainably sexy through her online courses and lifestyle coaching programs for the modern, mindful knitter, crocheter, and yarn lover who believes we can all make a difference one stitch at a time. There's my mission statement. So as you can see, this is very specific, right? So like I was just saying before about the vague kind of idea. So if your idea is vague, then results will be vague. I've had this happen to myself so many times. It's like, so if your idea is vague, your results will be vague, and maybe you'll get what you weren't wanting in the first place. So when you're specific, your focus is ninja, right? And your results are what you expect them to be. So it's almost like it's giving an order to the universe. And I think it's sort of like the law, we all know the law of attraction, but it's not woo-woo. I feel like it really is the truth, because if you're focused and you're directed and you know what you want and you've spelled it out, then you're going to put all your mind, your focus in that direction, because you can be like, okay, I got a map. I know where I'm going to go. And that's in business and life. Maybe you want to just, do like a big project around the house, remodel a kitchen. I mean, whatever. You can plug and play into anything. So here's my challenge. Okay. I got a challenge for you. So I'd love for you to write out your purpose-driven mission statement, okay? So make it big and beautiful. Post it on the wall, on the fridge, or any place that you think you'll see it most. It could be quirky. I don't really care. It doesn't matter where you put it. And so in my latest email update, I shared like I said, this mission statement. So it doesn't have to be crazy long. It can be straight to the point, and just being very specific, that just hitting on that purpose. So that's it. So that's my challenge. We're not done because now I got to do my review for the yarns. Okay. Because that's it on the purpose-driven mission thing. So again, check out powerpurlspodcast.com/81 to read more about it, read my blog post. I also have some other links in there for videos that relate to this topic, and also some, freebies and downloads, and they lead to many exciting places. So really check it out, because I think you'll be inspired if you find that this is something that's making you think, you know what, I want to think about my mission. I want to really think about my purpose-driven mission behind, something that means, something that's meaningful to me. Okay. So let's go ahead and we're going to shift gears and talk about plant-based and earth-friendly spring and summer knitting. So I thought this was a perfect time for that. And my little mission statement was a good segue for this. And I kind of set you up with my burning question of the week. So let's see. All right. So I'm going to dive in. Let's see. I might need to check my phone just to see if anybody else has popped in, because I think that I do this live video on a tool called Be Live, which is great. And I just joined their Facebook group. They've been very, very helpful. But I want to make sure that I'm not missing any comments or questions. Awesome. So good. So, all right. So let's shift gears. You guys ready to talk about plant-based yarns? I'm going to show you some of the things that are in my knitting bag, so to speak. And so I'm going to talk about the first. This is like, I'm definitely going to be making some shawls, a shawl with this. This is from Vegan Yarn. This is the name of the company. It's actually Vegan Yarn. And it is their 100% certified organic cotton and fair trade. I've never heard of this before, but it's Pakuchu color grown. So I'm really excited to work with this. So I got two colors. So the color of sage right here. So here it is. Okay. And it's very light. I mean, they have different weights. Okay. So this, it's like, it feels like just the weight of it for it being, how many grams is this? So this is, it's fingering weight, and it's 200 meters, 219 yards on this, in this little pull skein here, this little cake. And so it is organic, colors intensify with washing. Pretty cool, right? It's made in Peru, so I guess that's why it's Pakuchu. That sounds like it could be Peruvian, huh? And it is GMO free. Good to know. And Pakuchu, it says, as close to nature as colors can be. Well, that's pretty awesome. And so this is really cool. I want to read their little, just like a little mission statement on this yarn. So this is all about the mission statement thing right here. And I love to see this. This is a purpose-driven mission company, okay? So this is why I want to support companies like Vegan Yarn and others. I'm going to talk about another one in a minute. So let's see. So the earliest records on spinning date back nearly 8 millennia to Peru, where Pakuchu meant brown cotton. Wow, isn't that cool? In ancient brown cotton meant brown cotton in ancient Inca. Today, native spun Pakuchu cotton is grown in natural cream, beige, brown, avocado, and mauve shades. Wow, that's interesting. No pesticides, herbicides, or other agrochemicals are used to grow or color these yarns. All harvesting and color sorting is done by hand, just as it has been since the domestication of cotton in Peru over 4,500 years ago. Oh my goodness. So pretty cool. So here's the other color that I have. This is dark green. So I have dark green and sage. So this is fingering weight. It's fingering weight, and it is 100% fair trade cotton. So that's going to be something quite lovely, I think. Can't wait. So you can check them out. Vegan yarn. It's pretty much like, that's it. That's their website. Here's their card. They sent me a nice little, wrapping when they sent me the yarn, and, a little thank you for purchasing. And they are located in Canada. And so it's, veganyarn.com. Veganyarn.com. There's their card. It's pretty, isn't it? Their business card. So next on the plate, so I took a little trip to my local yarn shop. It's called Knitting Off Broadway. And they're in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And so they are in Broadway. And I bought four. Oh, that's right. I bought 4 little skeins or balls, whatever we want to call these, of ito. It's Japanese, so it's Gima cotton by Ito. It's Gima 8.5 is what this is called, and it is 100% cotton. So I've worked with this before. There are other companies that I've used this, yarn like this, and it's interesting because it's almost paper-like. It's paper-like. It is a little slippery to work with, but it's one of those kind of yarns that when you work with it, like when you create with it, it just makes like such something so cool to wear. And so my plan is big needle, meshy, modern, So here are the colors that I bought in this. This is Ito, like I said, Ito Gima 8.5 is what it says. And so I'm going to try to hold these colors up for you. This is the color palette that I purchased. Isn't that cool? So I think that this is going to be a really, really nice shawl or something. I'm saying shawl because I'm all about shawls, and it is springtime knitting, and this piece behind me is made with some cotton, or it's like I think it's a cotton blend yarn, but I wear it just like the way I have it on the mannequin, like a mannequin. So, but yeah, so that's it. And this, I can't wait to work with this. Oh, and this was the other thing I wanted to show you guys. So, it's all about the experience, isn't it? So I also bought matching stitch markers from the Twice Sheared Sheep, twiceshearedsheep.com, and these are snag-free stitch markers. So I'm going to try to hold everything together if you can see the colors work. Woo! Maybe I'll put one down, but you can still see the color combination. You guys see that? So I'll just kind of hold this closer to the camera. Cool, huh? Aren't those pretty? Really pretty. And here's my colors to go with. So that's that's the kind of the yarn spotlight of the, I'm not gonna say of the week, because I'm not always going out to buy yarn every week, because then my husband would have words with me. But yeah, so I got all this at that little shop, Knitting Off Broadway. So thank you, Knitting Off Broadway, Natalie, the owner. She's awesome. So thank you for that. So yeah, what did you guys think? I still haven't heard from you guys. Nobody's answering my question. Come on. Wake up, everybody. Just joking. But yeah, plant-based, love it, hate it. You can even just say yay, nay. Yes, yay, I love it. Nay, hate it. All right. So that's it, you guys. So I will be signing off. And before I do, just a little bit of housekeeping. So again, if you want to listen to the latest episode of Power Purls Podcast, you can go to powerpurlspodcast.com/81, or just go to powerpurlspodcast.com. You'll see right in the middle of the screen, there's like a little scroll bar that just kind of flashes, not a scroll bar, a slider. Yeah, I'm like, slider. You can see all the latest episodes, so you can check those out and you can see links to more inspiring videos like this that pertain to this topic and or are related. And if you want to also get a weekly reminder, see, I haven't really talked about this a lot, because I think this is where the missing link is. I know some of you guys are diehard and you see the notifications, but if you want to get notifications, sent to you via email, when I go live, and maybe just a few other little tidbits and insights, then go to powerpurlspodcast.com/live video. Okay. So, and then what that means is you get on the list to get updates before I go live. So you're like, oh yes, right, today's the day. And remember to go to Power Purls Podcast, or I should say Carrigot Warner. So many different websites. Try to keep it really easy, and only use one. So carrigotwarner.com/community to check out the Patreon stuff. Okay. So that's it, you guys. I'm so excited that we had this time chatting together, and I will see you next week. Have a good one.